Yes, I'm driving right now, but I just had to get this thought out. I needed to share it before it slipped my mind. About a month into your healing process, you're going to feel it. That pull, that ache, that whisper inside of your chest that it just says, this work is too much. And your body is going to start to rebel. Your thoughts are going to get louder. The reactions are going to get sneakier. And suddenly, you're not sure if you're healing anymore or if you're just falling apart. I was working with this guy the other day, and on paper, this man, he was a fortress, a beast, just a force to be reckoned with. And he owned this amazing company. He's got 3 beautiful kids, a stunning wife. This man is disciplined as hell, but inside just crumbling and falling apart. And he knows he needs to work on healing his inner child because there's so much rage and jealousy and shame that's dictating all of his reactions. And he told me, I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind, but I'm doing everything right. And he was reading the books, he was going through the work, doing breath work, waking up early, trying to regulate his nervous system. But one early morning, about 5 weeks in, he messaged me and said, I want to quit. I feel worse than before. And I knew exactly what was happening. You see, nobody talks about this part of the process. We all glamorize healing. We make it a highlight reel. But real trauma, the real healing that's involved in healing your trauma, it's not pretty. It's not calm. And it sure as hell doesn't feel safe at first, because the moment you start pulling the roots of your pain out of the soil, your body begins to go into panic mode. Your nervous system doesn't care about what's good for you. It cares about what's familiar, what it knows, what's predictable. It cares about predictability because it wants to keep you alive. It wants you to survive. And if you grew up in a home where love felt like walking on eggshells all the time, and where silence meant tension, where anger was the only language spoken, you better believe that your body has memorized that environment. And now, anytime you try to break free, your body screams, go back, go back, go back, retreat. You guys, this is a chemical, biological process. Literally, biological addiction. Your cells have been swimming in cortisol and adrenaline since you were a little kid. Every single outburst, every single panic, every shutdown, that was normal. And you didn't even realize how deep it goes until you try to step into peace. And your entire system begins to reject that. So this isn't sabotage, this is protection. That's what your body is doing. It's trying to protect you. Your inner child, the part of you that was overwhelmed and abandoned and unheard, that part still thinks you are in danger. That part needs to know what's going to happen next, even if what's next is more pain. Because at least the pain is predictable. It's what you're used to. At least chaos is familiar. At least if she cheats again, if the kids reject you again, if the shame returns, at least you saw it coming. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you begin to change, when you stop yelling, when you breathe instead of explode, when you start loving yourself instead of criticizing yourself, the child inside of you panics. He says, wait, this does not feel right. This does not feel safe. I don't know this version of you. And this is the threshold, the invisible wall, if you will. And most men never get past it because it doesn't feel like healing anymore. It feels like a slow death, like the death of an identity. And that's what it is. You're killing off the version of you that you built to protect yourself. And that's what's kept you alive for decades, believe it or not. You don't just stop being reactive anymore now. You don't just stop being jealous. You have to literally become someone else. And the space between who you've been and who you're becoming, it's a terrifying space to be in. But hear me, you guys, because this is sacred. That resistance is a signal that you're leaving the old world behind. It's not a sign to stop. It's a sign to lean in. That anxiety that's in your chest, that fog that's in your head, that voice that says this isn't working, that's your system detoxing. You're going through a chemical withdrawal, not just from emotions, but from identities. Because when you let go of the rage, who are you without it? When you stop proving yourself, what's left of your worth and your value? When you stop needing to be right, what's holding you together? Most men don't have the tools to sit in that space. They try, they start, but the moment peace feels unfamiliar, they run back. Back to porn, back to weed, back to alcohol, back to shutting down, back to screaming, back to pushing your family away, back to blaming them for all the ways that you don't feel like a real man anymore. And I get it. I fucking get it. I spent years, my own chaos, addicted to my chaos. Could not sleep without the conflict. Could not feel alive unless something was broken. Even healing became another high, a way to avoid the real work of presence, of stillness, and of truth. The truth that I didn't know how to love myself without someone else to prove it. And that I didn't know how to be with peace, because I didn't believe that I truly deserved it. But I'm telling you, if you can stay with this through yourself, through this process, if you stay, everything changes. You stop living from the old wound and you start leading from truth. You stop reacting and you start responding. You stop trying to fix everything. And you just start meeting that little boy inside of you who has just been begging to feel safe. And when that boy feels safe, you stop needing the pain. You stop needing the chaos. You stop needing to be the version of yourself that only existed to survive. You guys, listen, this part right here, this is the work that I do, because when you're in it, you don't need another fucking insight. You don't need another book or another podcast. You need someone who's been there to grab your hand and remind you that this is not resistance. This is not your enemy. This is an invitation to keep moving, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep moving forward. And so if you're in that space right now, you're going through your healing journey, you're trying to work on healing your inner child, and you feel like you're slipping, like everything you've worked so hard for is starting to unravel, like the darkness is louder than the light, I need you to hear me very clearly, okay? You're not broken. You're in a transition. You're not lost. You are unlearning. You're not failing. You are healing. But healing is not a straight line. It's a spiral. It's a curve. It's a wave. You're going to come back to that same pain, but each time with a new level of awareness, with more tools, with more capacity to choose love over fear. And the question is, are you going to stay? Will you stay with the little boy inside of you long enough for him to trust you? Or will you abandon him again the moment it gets uncomfortable? This is why I tell every man that I work with, don't do this alone. You were not meant to. You were raised in isolation. You survived in the silence. And that's not how you heal. So if this hits you guys in your gut, you can feel that call. If you know you're in that resistance phase, like right now, in this moment, click the link in the description to book that call. Let's chat. This is exactly what we walk through inside of my inner circle, too. You don't need to figure it out alone, okay? So go visit theobstacleremover.com. Join the inner circle. It's free. Just bring your truth. I'll bring mine. We'll do the work together. But above all else, remember this. The moment you make the invisible visible within, life starts to mirror it back to you. You're not chasing peace. You're becoming the man who already lives in it. You're not fighting your old patterns. You're grieving them, letting them go. And that's not easy. You need compassion. That pull that you feel, that desire to go back to your old ways, that's your old self dying. Don't mourn it, honor it. thank it, and then keep walking forward. Because what's waiting for you on the other side is everything you thought you'd never get to feel. Peace, love, wholeness, freedom. It's all real. You just have to stay.